All right, guys, time to take a look at the roster update, the second roster update of the season. 2 new diamonds, bunch of new golds. Let's get into all of it right now. We'll go position by position. We're going to start with starting pitcher. We see Shane Bieber gets a little boost after just going diamond last week. Deserved. He's been unbelievable, arguably the best pitcher in baseball thus far this year. 21 2/3. Not saying he's I'm not saying he's the unquestioned best, over like a DeGrom or a Cole or a Scherzer, but he's probably been the best pitcher in the season that we've had to date. 2 guys that had their camps of diamond believers, Bauer and Lynn. Neither ends up getting there, but they do both go to 84, signifying that another good start or 2 heading into next week will get them to diamond. Chris Paddock gets an upgrade. It looks like his pitches got a lot of love too. He gets a little upgrade but stays neutral at 83. He's also on a diamond track. It's just going to take a bit longer. Yu Darvish, they're slowly building up that BB9 after that big second half that he had last year where he didn't walk anybody, literally 7 guys in like 15, 16 starts. They couldn't skyrocket it and just be like, well, he's a 90 BB9 now because of all the time in his career where he did walk guys, but they're starting to move it up. He only has 2 walks in 17 innings this year. I think we could see a pretty big gain in that BB9 going forward if we get another couple starts of great walk rate. It seems real. First new gold is Hermann Marquez. There was a chance that he could have gotten it last week. He had another great outing, this time in Coors, and so he goes ahead and jumps to gold. Kenta Maeda, another one similar to where he could have gotten it last week. He didn't, and ends up getting it this week. He did get bumped around a little bit in Pittsburgh yesterday, but the roster locks on Wednesday, so that Thursday start was not a factor in limiting Maeda. Max Fried, a big fan, a player I'm a big fan of, jumps to 77. He's very much on the hold for gold track. You should absolutely be holding any investments that you have and probably adding to your collection as well. I love this guy. He's now the de facto ace in Atlanta with Soroka's injury. I think he can certainly hold that role as a number 1, and I'm eager to see him get to gold. Yanni Trinos moves over from RP. Little love from my boy Stripadip. Man, I was really hoping he'd get a tops now off of that first game. He's been pretty mediocre since. So he's probably going to live in this mid 70s range right now until he goes on a hot streak. I could see holding a little stash for gold, but I would not overdo it. Again, I am a big fan of him as a player, and I'm still saying don't go too crazy here. 2 new silvers that we have here, Plesac and Savali. Kind of pairing them together because they're both on Cleveland and they're part of this new Cleveland pitching factory that we've seen over the last several years. And I believe in both of them. I actually believe both are hold for gold. If you bought a bunch with the idea that they would go to 75 or 76 and you want to use them for team affinity, I understand, and that's fine because they're still a ways out from gold, and you could probably do your affinity stuff, maybe wait like a week and buy back in if you want. Me, I'm holding for gold on both of these guys because I really believe in the talent that we've seen from both. I think they're both awesome and they could be gold within 2 weeks. Chris Bassett moves up to silver. He started off pretty strong last year too, and then kind of smoothed out into being like solid but not elite. I don't necessarily see him as a major gold candidate right now. I'll keep an eye on him though. Now that he is in the silver tier, he's on the radar for sure. Hauser I talked about in my upgrade video as somebody who I thought would get to silver, and then from there I could really see him developing into a gold because I have him on kind of a Brandon Woodruff type track. I'm a fan of him in that capacity. Actually, no, I didn't even have him getting silver. I went 73 to 74. I wasn't sure if they'd give him the silver. Turns out all you needed was 3 on the hit and 2 in the BB. And that's the tough part about some of my predictions this year is sometimes I don't know how close guys are because I can't run the numbers the way I used to with the offline roster. So, this isn't a huge upgrade with just 5 total points, but it got him the 2 points to 75. So that's awesome. I do think he's an interesting gold because look at all the growth potential that he has. John Means jumps into the 75 tier with a big velo boost despite a little hit 9 dip. I don't like him as a hold for gold because he's not a big strikeout guy. He doesn't throw very hard. He's kind of finesse. I like John Means. I like actually watching him pitch. I think he's a solid pitcher, but he also has that difficult East to deal with. I just think that there's going to be too many ups and downs. We can revisit it if he pushes to a 77, 78 and you know, plays better than I'm expecting. But right now, I think you can easily get out of this. Trade him in on the silver if you were investing. Frankie Montas, absolutely a hold for gold for me. He's right in the class of a Plesac Savali. In fact, Savali and Montas were two of my favorite recommendations in the fantasy realm this year. Anytime I was on my own podcast or guesting on a podcast or writing about pitching, I couldn't shut up about those two. So Savali and Montas, and then Plesac joined the party in season. I like all of them as major hold for gold candidates in the SP tier. Dallas Keuchel's quietly been pitching very well for the White Sox. He's kind of like a John Means type, though, where I wouldn't necessarily see him. I mean, he's not even in silver yet, so we don't have to worry about hold for gold. But even if you are looking long term, I don't really see it. He's not striking guys out. We know what his game is. It's that finesse, induce weak contact, don't walk guys. He can definitely get into the silver tier, and I think he can really push up to 77, 78, which at that point you're a stone's throw from gold, but I certainly wouldn't invest him in him with the idea that gold could be in the offing. Dustin May, very impressive youngster for the Dodgers. We know he has that excellent Future Stars card. He's going to go silver soon, I believe, so you can definitely hold on to him for that. Turn him into an affinity exchange. For me, the reason that I'm a little bit dubious on the hold for gold, and I will say he's got a 9.9 K9 here that we're looking at. Ks are not a huge part of his game, though. We've seen it early, and so I'm monitoring it for sure, because I just may be wrong, and maybe he's a better strikeout guy than I think. But I see him more as somebody who kind of dominates by getting out in 3 to 5 pitches of a plate appearance. And doesn't care about strikeouts, and that's great. You can have a lot of success that way, and he's unquestionably talented. But I think for him to be a gold candidate, he would need to be more of a strikeout force consistently. So if this holds and he continues to strike out 9.9 per 9, I'll assess and go go from there. Dylan Bundy, let's go. His big complete game from yesterday isn't even in here. He'll be silver next week, barring just a meltdown in his next start. I have a soft spot for Dylan Bundy, so I do see a little hold for gold potential here. You got to kind of make your own decision there as far as whether or not you want to jump out at when he gets silver or hold on for the long haul. I'm probably going to hold for the long haul myself. Alec Mills, we'll see what happens here. He has a little bit more finesse too. We haven't seen the swing and miss that he generated in previous years, but he does get a little boost there. Pablo Lopez, I'm really impressed with. I definitely see silver in the future. In fact, I think he'd already be silver if the Marlins hadn't missed time due to the COVID outbreak that they had. Felix Pena should be an RP. He's been relieving, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Of course, that will cost him points. It usually hurts you to go from SP to RP, so that kind of stinks. Tyler Chatwood had the disastrous outing yesterday that might tank his chances for silver next week unless he bounces back with a brilliant outing. The tough part is that it was KC of all teams that ripped him. Tyler Mahle, I love this guy. You see he got one of those wholesale upgrades there with his control, velo, and break also getting love. They really went in, revamped his pitches, gave him updates on all 4 per 9s. Definitely a save for silver type, and has an outside chance at gold this year. But right now, let's focus on getting him to 76, 77, and then we'll assess from there, and we'll see if these gains that we've seen hold. Josh Tomlin is he going into the rotation, I guess, because of their injuries? Okay. Danny Duffy, I think he's kind of a bronze type of guy. Austin Voth is somebody I am definitely intrigued by. He moved in to the SP tier here. He had some buzz coming into the season. I was actually pretty interested in him. We'll see what happens. Obviously, this is just a lateral move here with a couple of downgrades in addition to the stamina boost and moving to SP, so nothing to really assess there just yet. Taiwan Walker, speaking of guys I have a soft spot for, but right now I'm not really investing in him. Spencer Turnbull I am investing in as a silver candidate right now. Let's get him into the silver, see how he's pitching, and go from there. But definitely somebody I could see in that 75 to 77 realm in short order. Same with Marco Gonzalez, although not to the same degree, because I think Spencer Turnbull is a little bit more dominant and misses a lot more bats. So I could see Gonzalez getting into silver. I don't know that there's a great path for gold after that. Whereas I think Turnbull, if he continues to pitch as we've seen in different periods over last year and the start of this year, I think there would be a path for Turnbull to go gold. Marco would be a little bit tougher just because he just doesn't really strike out guys at a big clip. Jake Kalish moved in from RP. Randy Dobnak, I talked about him on the upgrade video. Probably like a high bronze is his peak right now. Limiting hits, not giving up walks, that's his game. He really doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. You can see he's at 4.8 K9 thus far. Dylan Cease got a little BB9 boost. We'll see. You got to see more from him. I liked him as a late flyer coming into this year. So far, it's been pretty tough. It is 8 1/3 though, so I don't want to go too far with it. Yusei Kikuchi gets a nice boost, and you look again. This is like Tyler Mahle, where they went in and really upgraded his arsenal. And now let's see if he can build off of that excellent outing against Oakland and really set himself up to push for silver and maybe more, because he's got some devastating stuff, y'all. Kyle Freeland's off to a good start. I never know how much to really trust Colorado pitchers. I mean, actually, I do know how much. Never. No, don't trust them at all. But you couldn't really catch me investing in one. Even Marquez, who felt like a pretty good lock for gold, I wasn't like super invested. I had like 3. So yeah, I just don't do that. Kind of skipping through some of these. Tuki Toussaint, really interesting talent, just moving into SP, but he's got a lot to prove. He's off to a decent start with his strikeout rate and walk rate, but as you can see, it's a 6.08 ERA. I'm intrigued by the strikeouts and walks, 20-4 in 13 1/3. If he can get on a roll, there could be something worth going for there, but for now, no need to worry about it. And I don't really see anything else there worth worrying about in the SP realm. Let's go over to relievers. Probably be quicker here because a lot of these RPs, after we get past the first page, aren't going to be too important for us. So I don't know how Chad Green got a 98 in velocity to 86. I don't know what. I'm gonna go look at his card real quick. Did he get a new pitch that is 98 miles an hour? I don't quite understand that. Let's see. Let's go take a look. Well, his fastball is 97. Was it not 97 before that? I guess coming over here to look at it was pointless because I didn't know what it looked like beforehand. So that was a waste of everybody's time, and I'm sorry. Let's go back over to the roster update. He has a new curveball is what my Twitch chat is saying. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, twitch.tv/Spore, streaming 6 days a week, playing MLB The Show, doing all sorts of different things, reviewing the box scores 5 days a week, although today we had to skip because the content was just too fiery. This is just a move from CP to RP. Haley, thank you for the follow. Same here with Doolittle. Duffy was one who was not on my radar. This was a miss by me for sure. He pitched really well last year. Comes in with 5 big innings to start the season. They go ahead and move him to gold. It makes sense. It fits. It tracks. I just missed it. Joaquim Soria's off to a good start as well. He's even got a couple saves, not through any fault of Liam Hendricks's, just the fact that he's pitching well. They decided to give him some opportunity. There's an outside shot that Soria could become a gold. Don't sleep on him. Keep a close eye on him. Keep him on your watch list. Maybe put a little stash away. Don't go overboard with it, but yeah, I could see it. I'm actually waiting for Diamond Soria to come back out. I love that KC card. Michael Gibbons just moved from SP. Aaron Bummer striking out the world right now. 12 strikeouts in 5 2/3. With that kind of strikeout rate, obviously that 74 could go way up. I put him in the Soria category of like, maybe if you want to put a little stash off to the side, that might not be a bad idea. Treinen, he's off to a pretty good start as well, although he does have 4 walks to his 6 strikeouts, so we'll see. Drew Pomeranz gets into silver, very deserved if you look at what he did with Milwaukee last year and then has carried it over with San Diego. I do see him in that Soria realm as well as somebody who has an outside shot at gold as he continues to dominate. Zach Britton, I think this is about the cap for Britton. Maybe another point or two. I don't see gold, y'all. And I know a lot of people are wondering why. Like, he's not missing bats. And he hasn't been for the last couple of years. He's been in this like mid-sevens realm. So I don't really see where the gold would come from. He's nasty, and he is pitching very well in Aroldis Chapman's place right now. But I don't really see much more than like a 77 unless he somehow gets the strikeout rate back. Sergio Romo, Jeremy Jeffress, I don't know that we need to worry too much here. Like, there's some silver upside, but I don't know that it's super investable. Wait, Jalen... See, damn, Jalen Beek's getting murked. He has 17 strikeouts in 9 innings, though. So they were on his card to move him from SP to RP. Why not also bump up his K9? I guess that was a little bit surprising to me. I feel like he could have gotten a little boost. My boy TJ Antone needs to be moved into SP, which would probably give him like a 5-point boost just off rip there. He did get a little bump. He's got that big fastball now. I'm keeping an eye on TJ Antone. Not much else to go over here. My boy Tyler Alexander does get an 8-point boost. He got that tops now that I wanted, so let's go. In the closing realm, Nick Anderson gets a little boost. I'm not concerned. Like, as far as relievers going diamond, it takes a lot, and all these guys are 3 points away. Even in the aggressive season that we have right now, where they're making moves quickly, they're still not really on the radar, outside of like maybe put a couple away if they're one of your guys. If like you're a big Taylor Rogers believer, although he did just get murked by Pittsburgh, or if you're a Nick Anderson guy, you could put a couple aside, but I would caution against going too crazy here. I do see a lot of silver upside for Daniel Hudson, and even some potential gold. Let's get him to silver first. We'll reassess. Jairo Diaz is the closer in Colorado right now while Wade Davis is hurt. Maybe some silver. This one's a bummer, man. His elbow blew up again, and that's going to be it for him, unfortunately. And then I don't see much. Like, I actually do see Jonathan Hernandez getting to bronze in relatively short order. He's off to a great start. I don't know enough about him to say how much I like him for silver and beyond, though. I had Duffy on my preseason list. Oh, hey, look at me. Look at me. I just meant that I didn't have him for this one. So I appreciate the call out there. Thank you. Thank you for the little credit. All right, going into catcher, just 2 guys got it. Contreras moves up a little bit, but it's a lateral move. He stays in the 81, and then Chadwick Trump, somebody we did talk about in my upgrade video. This was kind of what I expected. You know, I think it's exactly what I expected. Let me see, where did I have Trump? I had Trump going to 71. So, you know, 70, 71, same diff. I just had him getting a little bit of love. I don't... First off, he's pretty much a 50-50 with Tyler Heineman, so I don't think that there's much to go beyond with that. It's just that sometimes you can invest in these guys super cheap, get the 3 extra points, and turn it into some affinity gold. My boy Luke Voigt only gets 1 point. That's okay. That's okay. We're keeping an eye out. I only had him to 78, so it's not like I'm crushed by this. He's still in shouting distance. 1 big week, and he's gold. This is absolutely hold for gold. One of my favorite hold for golds across the board. They gave Miggy some of his power back, but they had to take some of his contact because he's hitting 143. Evan White gets a big defensive boost. Whit Merrifield goes up to 84, and of course, anytime you're 1 point away from a level change, you're on the radar. So there is some diamond upside here. He had a big day yesterday in that massacre of Tyler Chatwood as well. So there is upside, and if he has 4 homers already, if he keeps hitting for power, then he's damn near a diamond guarantee. Like, it's a DJ LeMahieu kind of thing here, where if the homers just keep flying over the fence, at some point you just have to put him at diamond. So he is a diamond candidate without a doubt. David Fletcher is not, though. He has 2 homers. He's shown some pop. He got to gold this year, and then he got an upgrade right after. So good on him. He's not on the diamond realm just yet. Definite hold for gold here with Brandon Lau. Big fan of his. He's awesome. Look at how balanced he is. He's a BR god, by the way, if you're not using him. He has second and left field, too. So if you already have a second baseman, don't think that you can't draft Lau. Put him out in left field. You see that defense is pretty strong, too. He's absolute BR superstar. Cano just went on the IL, so any gold love right now has to go on the back burner until he comes back. Joey Wendell doesn't play every day. He is playing well, but I don't really see a lot of gold upside right now. Jason Kipnis could get back to silver, as could Senzel. Not get back to, I don't think Senzel's ever been to silver. Maybe last year, but he could get to silver. Solano's been crushing the ball, man. He went to Colorado and kept crushing. Dude hits line drives like it's his job. I mean, because technically it kind of is his job. But it's insane how many line drives this dude puts out there. I'm keeping an eye on him. Like, I can't rule out. I mean, this is not some up-and-comer either. Dude's like 30. But I can't rule out some silver upside because he just keeps smacking the hell out of the ball. Yo, thank you, A-Gamer. Finally, although I will say, we got our gold. So, thank you, SDS. Where's the defense? Where's the defense, though? That's what I don't get. That part's kind of got me messed up. I don't understand why he doesn't have more defense. That's all right. He remains a BR god for me. He plays all 4 infield positions. He has the unfazed quirk. I love Gio Urshela. I'm glad he's a gold. I will say, though, sometimes it sucks when your favorite players go from silver to gold because you're less likely to get them in BR, and now they're at the bottom of a tier instead of at the top of one. So to that end, same goes for Moncada, though I would still draft both personally. If the round fit properly, because he's a switch hitting god, he's a four position beast, and I believe Urshela is a diamond hitter, so you could still draft him. But that part is the downside of like rooting for your investments, is sometimes you hurt yourself in the gameplay realm because they get moved out of the tier that you love. I remember one of the most crushing yet rewarding moments in MLB The Show 17 was when we got Jake Lamb to gold, because we'd all been invested in him like crazy, but he was like the BR god of all gods. And then it was like, am I going to take an 80 platoon guy? Because he really only hit against righties. So that was kind of a bummer. Bennett's telling me because his DRS is -3. Well, I need to get them to look at some of his more advanced stats. Seager gets a bump of 9 against righty for his righty contact to go up to 78. He's definitely in the hold for gold realm. If you believe in the other Seager, the better Seager. Corey got his upgrade to gold. I think Kyle could happen too, without a doubt. Hunter Alberto was interesting because last year he had like an 8 billion BABIP against lefties, and that really sustained his batting average. And I thought he'd kind of peel back this year and be meh. Well, now he's hitting against righties, and you see that reflected in the +8 contact against righties. You know, throwing a little pop as well, and not that it's crazy. He's at 45 on both sides. I'm not ruling him out. He's a dark horse gold candidate. He's somebody to keep an eye on. He's in that sort of David Fletcher realm. We'll see if he keeps collecting the hits, then we can reassess. But for now, he kind of is what he is as a silver. Trevor Story, big day for him. He goes up 2 points on his live series and gets his headliner Silver Slugger card. And then there you go. There's the big diamond upgrade, Fernando Tati. So I had really 4 guys that I was looking at for diamond. It was Correa, Lynn, Castellanos, and Tatis. Those are my main 4. I also had Bogarts, Gallo, and Bauer going to 84, but I didn't really see them for diamond. I thought they were kind of firm 84s. So the 4 I picked the 2 that didn't go diamond. And the other 2 did go diamond. That's all right, though. I had them at 84. I don't feel bad about that. You know, the point is to get you guys to invest. So, you know, when I put Tatis at an 84, that says invest, because he's going to be on the cusp of diamond if he doesn't get it, or he will get the extra point that I'm not giving him and go diamond. And that's what happened here. So I don't feel bad, and hopefully you benefited from that. He's a monster. And Bogarts did indeed get his 84, as did Correa. And of course, they're on the diamond cusp right now. So hang on. In fact, buy in more if you really believe in them, because their prices tanked. Everyone was upset that they didn't get their upgrade. Prices go down. You can jump in for a few more shares and just wait another week. Neither looks like they're showing signs of slowing down. They've both been diamonds before as well. Seager was probably the most obvious gold of the week. He got his boost to 81. No surprises there. Mondesi got a little contact love, which is interesting since he really hasn't been hitting all that well. But I know he's 1 point away. He's so inept as a hitter. It's weird. Like, he's so raw. He's still so raw as a hitter. Inept is the wrong word. He's not inept, but he is raw, and he gets in these cold streaks where he's swinging out of his shoes and doesn't hit anything, and then gets electric hot for 3 weeks and hits 500. So if he hits one of those, obviously he's going to go gold quickly. So if you want to hold him for gold, I get it. He's a little too volatile for my nature. He's a little too volatile of a nature for my blood. But if you want to hang on to him, I do see the avenue for it. Dansby Swanson, somebody I do like though. Now, in fairness, if I'm going to rip Mondesi for striking out, I do have to point out the fact that Dansby has 21 strikeouts. So there's definitely been a little bit too much striking out for him as well. That said, he was in the midst of a breakout season last year before that injury hit and kind of derailed him. It looks like he's picking up where that part of his season left off, the pre-injury part. If he gets the strikeouts in check, I think we'll be good to go, and he could be gold within the coming weeks. So I do think Dansby Swanson is indeed a hold for gold. Freddie Galvez could get silver. I mean, he'd have to have a hot streak, though. He's hitting 189, so I'm not even sure why he got it. I guess I haven't looked at his splits because I see a 189, 318, 405. I guess he's hitting well against righties and terrible against lefties, but I haven't really paid attention to him. JP Crawford gets a nice, healthy boost here. He's off to a great start. He's coming from a low number here at 66, so it's going to take a while. We'll give him the silver before we really focus on his gold potential. He's a pedigreed prospect for sure. There's definitely upside. In fact, his defense might have some upside too. But for now, I'm not really rushing out to collect a bunch of his. There's our other diamond, Nicholas Castellanos, just tearing the cover off the ball against righties. Well-deserved 4-point boost into the diamond tier. Hopefully you were in on him early because he's been one of the best hitters since the season started. And Joey Gallo missed by just 1 point. I know some folks were hoping that he had enough to get there, and it was not quite enough for him to get to diamond just yet. But he's on the cusp, and it's always tied to his batting average. I mean, his power is insane at 102, 104. So he really only has to hit 250 plus. He's hitting 250 right now. If he stays there or goes better, then he has a chance to get diamond. So stay invested if you already have his card. There's a neutral move for Brantley. Jimenez goes up to 77. Between Jimenez and Moncada, I picked Moncada to go up to gold, and Jimenez did go up to 77. If he keeps hitting well, he'll be gold in probably 2 weeks, I could say, if he continues to hit well. Braun got some. That's hilarious that he got forward durability. Teoscar gets a little love. Again, I don't see a major skills change with him. I think he's just in the midst of a hot streak. I feel like he could have gone into low silver, but it's not a huge difference one way or the other. Keep an eye on him. This just makes him better for BR because he's still a bronze and he's even better against righties now. So if anything, this helps us gameplay wise. If it doesn't help us all that much investment wise. Alex Dickerson, he's fine. I mean, he got a decent little upgrade there. Nothing to write home about. AJ Pollock's been doing well in a part-time role. It's a little bit more than part-time, but he's been crushing the ball. He deserved that. He's definitely on the gold radar now, at least. Still might take a little while because he doesn't play every single day, but he is playing enough to do a lot of damage. Robert, we knew he wasn't going to go all the way to gold from here, or at least I didn't think he would just bypass silver. He not only did he get his 77 to come out, or did he get bumped to 77, but he also had a Future Stars card come out that everyone's kind of oohing and eyeing over. Look, there's some volatility to his game because he strikes out a lot, doesn't walk a ton, but he's tearing the cover off the ball. He's a dynamic player. He runs brilliantly. He does everything well. So he is absolutely in the hold for gold realm. Brian Goodwin gets into silver, although his playing time was just chopped up a little bit with Ohtani. With Ohtani becoming hitter only and Adele getting called up, it looks like Goodwin and Upton are going to platoon out and left. Now, the good thing for Goodwin is that he's the lefty, so he's going to be on the strong side of the platoon, and he's hitting well, and he hit pretty well last year too. So I don't really see him as a hold for gold. He's 5 points away, but he got a well-deserved silver here. Whoops. Hap gets into silver as well. I love Hap. Now, this would be a dark horse hold for gold where you have to be committed to holding him for the long term, 3, maybe 4 weeks. But I believe in his talent enough. I do think the Cubs need to start moving him up the lineup a little bit. They've been batting him 9th. But Keep an eye on that lefty performance. He needs to start getting some starts against them, though, too. He's kind of in a platoon. He started a couple times against lefties, so I don't want to overstate it and tell you to go get a whole boatload of them. But I would keep a little bit. If you invested in him to go to silver and trade some in for the affinity, I would keep a little stash right now and just monitor Hap. If he continues to rake, add to it, and then I think we could see gold at some point this year. Grisham is a heavy platoon guy. He doesn't sit against lefties. I don't mean it from that standpoint. I mean that he can't hit lefties. So he's crushing righties and hasn't done anything against lefties. That's going to limit him right now. Until we see some movement against lefties, I'm not sure we can get him to silver, let alone even worrying about gold. Jacoby Jones got his upgrade. We'll keep a close eye on what he's doing. He's off to an excellent start for my Tigers, and we'll see if we have to start thinking about him as a silver. Right now, I think we don't. I'm not sure. I mean, they're being a little bit cautious on Kyle Lewis. Now, I went a little bit aggressive. I put him up to a 74, but I also thought that his defense could get a boost. It wasn't all in the hitting. So, I don't know. We're not seeing eye to eye on Kyle Lewis, I guess, but I really like him, and I think that he should be silver soon if he continues to hit like this. He has like 2 hitless games all year. He's insane. And again, I think his defense is better than that. And then the last position, Judge, I think everyone kind of knew he was going to go up to like a 90 based on his insane hot streak. His price was already kind of reflecting it. He was at 88 at 30,000. You don't see that very often. Kep Dog goes up a little bit. Kep Dog's on a bit of a diamond watch. It's a long-term diamond watch, so you have to have patience. If you're not a patient investor, then don't even worry about it right now, because I think that we need to see some sustained greatness. But you see how it came versus righties. The interesting thing about his breakout last year is that it was built off of his improvements against lefties. He was actually kind of mediocre against righties. His batting average wasn't all that good. So if he kicks butt against righties this year and holds some of those lefty gains, we could see diamond down the line. But I'm talking like 3 to 4 weeks for that. So again, you have to have a lot of patience. It's fine if you had a few stashed away and you either want to affinity exchange these or see if the price goes up. You don't have to invest in him for diamond right now. Blackman gets a little boost. He's just a beast. If you can afford the defense in like a BR or an event, he's a G. Okay, now I had him for a 79, so I'm not mad about this. I did say that he was I couldn't come up with the right term. I didn't want to say sketchiest or softest, but he was my 79 that I thought had the most gold upside. I thought he could actually get it. I thought maybe I was selling him short, and it turns out I wasn't. He did get 79, but what I'm surprised by is the discipline did not get touched. My man has like a 30% walk rate. It's not quite that high, but it's super high. It's literally over 20. Hang on, let me pull it up. Home Dude has a 23% walk rate. Now I know it's only been 60 plate appearances, but it's a 60 discipline right now. Give him some love. And pardon me, that 23 is his strikeout rate. 22 is his walk rate. That's another thing too. A 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That's kind of crazy. So I think his discipline needed to get a little boost. A little bit of a bummer there, but it's all right. He's at 79. He's on the cusp. He's definitely hold for gold. Go do the Tops Now moments. Get that awesome diamond card of his. I'm excited to use that card for sure, and I hope it comes up in a BR draft tonight because I will draft him instantly. Will Myers is absolutely crushing it this year. He gets into silver. Let's keep a close eye on him. He has the talent to push himself into the gold realm. We need to see it sustained for a while, though. Piscotty hitting pretty well this past week. After a slow first week, he had the walk-off grand slam. I'm not really investing in him at any point right now. So that's where we're at right now. That's the roster review. I'm going to do another video over the weekend or early next week talking about everybody who's 1 point away from a diamond and gold level change and talk about how I feel about them in some more detail. So look for that. And I'm also going to do a separate video on a hold for gold list, basically updating the guys that I'm doing with that. So I think those will be 2 separate videos, maybe a hybrid. We'll see. But this is roster update for the week of August 7th. Thank you so much for watching. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. Come out to Twitch, twitch.tv/Spore. Peace.